What's up, y'all? It is super dark out here, even though it's only like 6:30 in the evening. This is that time of year in this part of the country, in Germany, or this part of the world really, where it gets super dark super early and you only have like a solid 9 or 10 hours of daylight. Anyway, the time has come to put the new wheels on the car. I'm super excited. My tires showed up yesterday to the shop, so all I had to do was load the car up with the wheels. As you can see, they're in there. All right, and then there's one in the trunk, and yeah, so it's about a 45-minute ride over to the shop, and then we're gonna throw the new wheels on the car. I'm like super excited right now. What's up, y'all? So we are here at the shop. It is finally time to put the new wheels and tires on the Alpha. As you can see, she's jacked up. She's already got the driver's side tires off, and the new wheels and tires are actually being put on by Gino over there, owner and operator at Fusco Motorsports. And if you're in the Stuttgart area and you need some work done to your car, whether it be an Alpha or really anything, go to these folks. They've done a fantastic job with me already for a different thing, and now I'm coming back to them for wheels and tires, and I'll probably be using them for the foreseeable future. But as you guys know, you've already seen the absolutely beautiful wheel that we got going on here. Can't wait to see these on the car. Look at that, beautiful. Gino's over there already putting one tire on. We've got the old wheels and tires over here. These are, of course, still incredibly beautiful, classic Alpha stuff, but we want to see the new ones on the vehicle. And as you can see, I'm still rocking the 15mm spacers here, so that is something we should talk about. I have these 15mm spacers on because for the longest time I was rocking the 19x8 stock wheels. Using these spacers with the new wheels, obviously they're going to poke out a lot more. So pretty much got two options. If the wheel rubs really bad, we're going to have to take the spacer off and run it without a spacer until my 5mm spacers come in the mail. I ordered them 2 weeks ago, but they're coming from the States to Germany, so we'll see how long that takes. If they don't rub, then I'll probably leave it like this, see how we like it, and then when the 5mm spacers come, we can play around with how it looks. All right, so really quick here, let's talk about my tire choice. So these are the Delente D7 Thunder tires. And why did I choose these specifically? Well, it's getting pretty cold and rainy and wet and ugly here in Germany, and I wanted something that was all season but also sporty without breaking the bank, because I really don't want to go all out on tires that are just going to get me through the winter and into the spring, and then I'll take these off and spend good money on a summer performance tire. And I went with the 245 3519 ZR speed rated because, I'm worried about the clearance issues on the Alpha, and I want to make sure that with these new wheels we don't have any clearance issues. And depending on the clearance that we see today, for these summer tires, I'll probably step up to a 255. We'll see. But believe it or not, these mid-grade tires, I've heard lots of good things about Delente Thunder D7s. I did quite a bit of research, and I've heard a lot of good things, and I got a killer deal on them. And I'll let you guys know, as usual, how these feel. I'll give you an honest review, so that, hey, maybe this will be an option for y'all to kind of hold you off into the summer, or as a kind of like a winter tire option. Now, these are not winter tires, however they are all season, and they've got lots of tread depth, as you can see here, so this should have no problem with rain. And from some reviews, they even said wintry conditions, and actually Delente themselves claims that these are good in wintry conditions. So that means slush, very light snow, and colder temperatures. So judging from the tread depth here, I can definitely see that. Alright guys, so a point worth talking about while the wheels are off are the Brakekinetic brake rotors that I installed on this car 4 or 5 months ago, I'd say, middle of the summer. They still look really good. I've gotten asked about these brake rotors a couple of times since I installed them because people wanted to know how they've held up. And as you can see, I mean, they've held up great, right? This is the front rotor, so it sees the most heat. And I mean, it still looks absolutely amazing. There's a couple of spots of rust here. That's just surface rust from the water and things like that. But you can see the hub still looks really, really good. The rotor face obviously still looks really good. There's some good even wear on the actual pad. Like, I have nothing but good things to say about this rotor. Just for a comparison, the R1 rotors this long into the game were starting to already deteriorate, and as you can see, there's still like a mirror finish on these rotors. So thumbs up big time for Brakekinetic brake rotors. And the rears look even better. Look at how shiny that hub is, and obviously it's still that shiny because the rears see way less heat than the front do. The fronts bear all the stopping power for the most part. But, you know, as you can see, it still looks really good, still has that nice mirror finish. And these rotors are like, you know, 5-6 months old, I believe. This has a little bit more rust on the outside edges. This isn't going anywhere. That's going to stay rusty pretty much. But that's fine. You don't even see that when the wheel is on. And that has no bearing on the performance of the actual rotor. And the pad is wearing just fine as well. So huge thumbs up for Brakekinetic. And when it comes time to replace the rotors, I'll be going with them again. However, I probably won't need to replace these rotors for years. I'll replace the pads a couple times before I ever need to, you know, take the rotor off and replace it. And there's no pitting, no grooves, nothing. It's super, super slick. I really like Brakekinetic. So yeah, I'll be using these for the future. So y'all, we've already run into our first problem, which is the OEM TPMS sensor does not fit inside of the new wheel hole that is made to hold the TPMS sensor. So we actually just have to run no sensors right now until I can find a sensor that fits. So when we put the old TPMS sensor in, this is the one from my stock wheels, it was actually leaking. So that means that a tolerance on the wheel is not within spec, or maybe these were replacement ones, right? That came in the OEM ones, like whoever had the car before me had them replaced, and these are not OEM, or you know, something's off. Either way, we're gonna have to just run no tire pressure sensors for the time being until I can find some sensors that fit and that work. So yeah, kind of a shame that we're not going to be able to run these. Not a big deal, because I've had plenty of cars that have not had tire pressure monitor sensors, and not only that, but I check my own pressure anyway. So we're just going to be running the regular just the regular tire inflator pieces here. But that's okay, we're still pushing forward, and I'll make sure to find sensors that fit in the future. Alright y'all, we have one tire on the first wheels so far, and my gosh, this is beautiful. Look at that. Sheesh. Look at that. Brand new, fresh rubber. Nice 1 inch wider concave wheel, offset 30 millimeters. I am just drinking this up right now. Absolutely beautiful, 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 beautiful. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, that slight stretch right there. So I didn't really have that on the Pirellis with my OEM wheels, because still same size tire, 245/35. However, that was an 8 inch wide wheel, so I actually had a little bit of a bulge. But when you do 245 On a 9-inch wheel that's really meant for a 255, you get that slight stretch. And not only does it look good, but it's also better for handling because the slight stretch makes the sidewall just a little bit stiffer, and it actually increases the contact patch of the tire to the road. Plus, it just looks absolutely gorgeous with that beautiful deep piano black and the slight stretch on the tire. I love that look. There's nothing that says sports car, exotic, performance like a slightly stretched tire on a beautiful wheel. That's just universal car language right there for this MF knows what they're doing. I love that. Look at that. These Delente D7s, so far, they're getting my vote of approval, man. They look really good. Not only that, but they have, as you can see, just the slightest rim protection. I thought I was going to have no rim protection, but I actually have just the slightest rim protection there. So, you know, I'm not going to count on that, right? Obviously, I drive carefully, but in the event that I do come close to a curb, there is still just slight rim protection there. So not bad at all. Okay, y'all, let's compare stock OEM 19x8 old to new. Okay, this was the OEM. Look at that, right? Still a beautiful wheel, everything, but look at that. And as you can see, I was down to the wear bar with these Pirelli Soto Zeros, but look at that, right? Check that out. Check that out. There's no comparison. Look at that and look at this. See? Just absolutely stunning. These new wheels, oh my god, there's no comparison. Look at that and then look at this. Incredible. Let me back up. And put them like that. New wheels versus old wheels. Absolutely incredible. Y'all, I really have no other words than, oh my god. The car looks amazing. Like, perfect. I actually thought the poke was going to be a little too much and I was worried about clearance, but honestly, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. My gosh. Oh, look at that. All right. I think that's a wrap, y'all. I'm going to go home. We're going to wash this car when we get a clear day. I'm tempted to go to the wash bay tonight and wash this car, but it's going to be raining for like the next 4 days. I'm going to go home. We're going to wash the car, and then we'll show you the thing full stop in the sunlight and all of its glory. Like I said, I'm absolutely speechless. This car looks amazing. So I have shined her up, I've given her a bath, and here is the final result. New rear diffuser, new wheels and tires. Oh my god, this car is insane. Look at that. Look at that. I feel like that meme, that video where that guy's just look at it. Would you just look at it? That's how I feel, because that's all I can say. Like, this is nuts. She is the most beautiful that she has ever been right now. This car is absolutely wild. Wild. Look at that. The aggression. Man. This car is so beautiful. Woo! Alright, y'all, so it's a couple days later, and she's been washed and dried and detailed. Put some tire shine on there, clean the wheels down, and man, this car is just breathtaking. Looks even better out here than it did in the shop. Yeah, hard for me to really describe how good or how much I love this setup. I mean, I'm sure it looks good on camera, but to see this thing with your own eyes is something else. I mean, the way that these wheels pop on this car now are it's just incredible. I mean, just for example, I love how these wheels make the brake rotors stand out even more. I mean, the drilled brake rotors looked great on the OEM wheels, but now that we have all of this open architecture and space, you can really see the brake rotor, and it just gives this such an amazing image. Just absolutely beautiful. It flows with the design. I think it builds on the classic Alfa Romeo 5-hole design. You know, it doesn't take away from it, it adds to it. These wheels honestly should have been a factory option. I understand them not putting these wheels on every like standard equipment, but it should have been a factory option to spec these wheels, or a wheel like this, you know, for the Giulia. This is just, whew, this is beautiful. And then if we make our way over here to the rear, I know I need to do a separate review for this rear diffuser, but we're here now, so I'm going to talk about it. Look at this shot. Look at this quarter angle shot. Just magnificent. This new rear diffuser that I put on, this is actually a base model bumper with the Paris 5 Garage quad exhaust rear diffuser. I bought this setup used from a friend who's going to a full GTAM conversion. Her car is absolutely wild. Shout out to Leah here in Germany. I plan to do a whole video on her car alone. Incredible, incredible car. But anyway, she hit me up. She told me, hey, I'm moving to this other setup. Do you want the opportunity to buy this setup? And I hopped on it immediately. I had it sanded down, prepped, resprayed, repainted, and this is the final result. And my goodness, absolute perfection. I love this thing. I know this video is about the wheels and not about the diffuser, but we're here. She's clean. The car is very clean. Just cleaned her yesterday, which is rare for this time of year and the crappy weather we have, so I want to show it off while I can and while it makes sense to do so. I went with gloss black. Obviously, that's kind of the theme that I'm going with the car, red and gloss black. And I decided to do some OEM style tips. I know that a lot of people like to do huge 4-inch tips, and to be honest, I have those tips because I ordered them, but I thought twice about it, and I wanted to do something a little bit more subtle. I didn't want the back to be too wild or crazy. I wanted the car to still look like, you know, hey, this could be OEM, right? I wanted it to look OEM plus. That's my whole thing with this car, is an OEM plus look. I don't want to look too modified. Obviously, someone who knows Alfa Romeos, someone who knows cars, is going to know that this car has been modified to some degree. However, I don't want it to be too shouty. I don't want it to be too over the top like my cars in the past. You know, I've gotten to a point in life where it's like, hey, you know, I want to have a tasteful, unique car that's unique to me and my specific taste, but I don't want it to be all over the place. So anyway, that was my rationale for the OEM tips back there. I think it looks gorgeous. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. Very reminiscent of the Quadrifoglio, you know, but then also slightly different than the Quadrifoglio. If you put a picture of the Quadrifoglio rear right next to this, slight difference. So I do like being slightly different than the QV model. However, the design cues are definitely there, and obviously the two cars share the same body and chassis. As I said earlier, I do have 5mm spacers in the mail. When they get here, I'll probably take these spacers off and put those on to see how we like that setup, because yes, there is quite a bit of poke here. However, it's growing on me. The wide look is growing on me, so we'll see if I actually take them off or not. You know, my buddies and people were like, it looks great, so I might just leave it like that for the time being until I get the bug to really go in there and remove them. Yeah, so we'll see, because I do like the wide stance and the wide look of the car. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for coming along the journey with me, putting on these wheels and tires. This has been something that has been years, literally years and years in the making, and I'm so excited to finally have these things on the car and finally have the aggressive stance that I really think all Giulias should have and are definitely capable of rocking really well. So as always, y'all, thanks for watching. Please stay tuned. I'm gonna do better. This is my New Year's resolution, is to do better with the videos, being more consistent. As you know, a year ago, I moved to Germany, uprooted my family, moved all the way across the Atlantic Ocean to Germany with my Giulia. So yes, it has been kind of difficult reliably putting out videos, but I'm in the groove of things now, and we're back to modding. So thanks once again. I'll see y'all in the next video. Take care.